You know, Jamaicans, my fellow Jamaicans, while I'm in the King's Park in the UK, in London, within the diaspora, I believe that Jamaicans should develop the tenacity to be intentional, to not take things lying down, but to speak up on things, speak up on issues. They say at times that when good men don't say anything, evil prevails. And I'm not going to say what I'm saying now is evil, but I believe it's very important. And I've always heard that persons in Jamaica do not want to speak up because of the repercussion. I recall when I wasn't born in the slavery period, where you had the freedom fighters and those came out and they spoke. They spoke with passion. They spoke with conviction. They were resolved to see the freedom of their people. And therefore, my encouragement to my fellow Jamaicans is to speak out on different issues. Now, I was reminded by something, and I'm going to read this here. I was reminded that it is 2 years now since the government gave themselves a 200% increase salary. 200% increase. Today marks 2 years. This was yesterday, the 16th of May. 2 years since the political directorate awarded itself an unconscionable salary increase of roughly 200%. Now, listen, this is from the Advocates Network, but I'm going to say this very clearly. I'm a part of all these civil societies, civil organizations in Jamaica: NAI, Justice for Jamaica, Advocates Network, Stand Up for Jamaica. Anything that speaks up for Jamaica, I'm a part of the JLP, I'm a part of the PNP, I'm a part of the churches, I'm a part of anything that speaks up with the good things for Jamaica. Recall that prior to the announcement, teachers, nurses, doctors, police, and other civil servants were asked to hold strain in the nation's interests. After strong negotiations, their unions were encouraged to sign agreements accepting wage packages that fell short of their initial demands. However, calls for constraint in the national interest were ignored when cabinet used its unfettered constitutional authority to approve massive salary increases for councillors, members of parliament, MPs, ministers, the prime minister, the leader of the opposition, and the governor general whose salary is tax exempt. Why do you need a governor general still? Why don't we remove the King of England as the head of state? As a matter of fact, when I hear of the governor general, with all respect due, I think this is a person that should sometime come out and speak on some issues which are pertinent. Their need for that sort of objective, abstractive voice. In strong defense of the new salaries, the former minister Nigel Clark wrote, levels of pay for the leadership across the administrative public sector have been dramatically below what is expired. Listen to this: to retain the most competent public servants and interest in leadership opportunities, and or to attract external candidates. Clearly, the new salary increase for Minister of Finance, which was $25,585,588, was not enough even to retain Nigel Clark as finance minister, because guess what? He hightailed and he flashed out. Yeah? Jump ship right away. IMF. Either his salary was not high enough or other factors are required to retain competent public servants, like good, ethical working environments or supportive interpersonal relationship. Now, in the wake of this public backlash, PM Andrew Holness held a press conference, and listen to this, on May the 22nd, 2023, at which he announced details of accountability, tools to come, written job descriptions to be tabled in Parliament, enhanced code of ethics to be reviewed by Parliament, by Cabinet rather, financial penalties for unexplained absences from Parliament. MPs' accountability reports to be sent to Parliament, highlighting activities, undertaking and achievements. Special training courses for MPs, targets to be published by ministers. The announcement of these proposed accountability measures drew sharp criticism from the Advocates Network, putting the cart before the horse. The AN maintained job descriptions and accountability measures must come before, not after salary increase. Only then will taxpayers know what the performance indicators have been achieved to justify the payment. Ladies and gentlemen, this is very concerning. February 17, 2016, February 7, 2016, there was a campaign promise to institute impeachment proceedings in Parliament within the first 100 days of taking office, stating that this will add another layer of protection of the Parliament to ensure that members of unquestioned integrity sit in Parliament. And February 2017, instructions to cabinet ministers during a review of the one-year performance of his government that they had 6 more months to prove to him that they deserve to keep their jobs and say that job descriptions are actually being prepared. Actually, I just heard a press release from the Mr. Golden that once they take power, if they win the next election, that they will also implement these. But that's what the previous present government has said as well. 2 years on, people can judge whether they see the high motivation of the productivity in the public sector. The extraordinary salary increases stand as a telling indicator of the need for constitutional reform to address the unfettered power of cabinet, inconsistent with democratic ideals that demand public transparency and accountability for our representative in Parliament. We maintain that the resolution of legislative oversight with a restrictive parliament and restructured parliament where the legislature is not dominated by the executive. Jamaica need a legislature responsive to the will of the people. You, the people. You, the people, need to speak up. You, the people, as things stand, Parliament are accepting big salaries with little to show for it and no way to hold them account except at the ballot box. As they say, ball out, Jamaica. But I say this to you, do not even just, and it shouldn't be a situation where one wait for the ballot box. There should be systems in place whereby effective governance can take place during, not just when the ballot box is ready every 4 years or every 5 years. The tenacity of Jamaicans need to speak up, need to cast off restraint, and need to hold your leaders accountable. There should be a level of transparency, accountability, good governance, leadership, transparency. Mark you, what I'm saying is some of the 7 codes of conduct which the present government and the parliamentarians have not signed up to. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Silver and Sidiel. Remember to like and subscribe to my video, The Unapologetic Voice in the Diaspora, speaking up on issues. Yeah, I'm not in Jamaica. And yeah, many persons will say, stay foreign and don't come a yard. But I tell you this, I'm a Jamaican, fully bred, fully born, straight out of Ochi. And also, I will say this again, this is also not even just for the die-hearted persons. This is for those persons who are well-thinking, who sometimes don't act and only react. But we need to be proactive. Thank you very much for listening. Bye-bye. Cheers.